Hello, everyone. Hey, my babies. My sweet angel babies. My laser heads. Welcome to episode 16 of Laser Show, our sweet 16. Isn't that sweet? Aren't we just the cutest and the sweetest? I hope everyone had a lovely holiday. I hope you got everything you wanted. And Happy New Year. 2024 is going to be our year. If you're a Laser Show podcast listener, you deserve all the good things. And I hope 2024 is everything that you... And I hope you don't get shot. And I hope you don't get stabbed. And I hope you don't get acid thrown on you or anything like that in 2024. I hope only good things. God, I hope none of you get shot. This podcast can ill afford any of my listeners to get shot in the face or the stomach. Or the heart. Or the back of the head. Or the top of the head. Lord knows, even the side of the head. I hope none of you get shot in any vital part of your body in 2024. And keep listening to these doozies I'm about to be cranking out in 2024. But this doozy right here, episode 16, we're talking about The Boy with No Brain Tour, the final chunk. Part 5 of this big old tour. And Lord, what a tour it was. If you follow this podcast religiously, my last episode ended with a little trip home for the holidays. It was lovely. I went to a hibachi place. They flipped food into my mouth. I caught it on the first try. It was a chunk of a zucchini. I caught it so easily. I mean, this place was wowed. People got up on their feet and they applauded. Mostly because of my podcast. They were mostly podcast fans. They were Laser Show fans. But they thought it was also pretty cool that I caught this zucchini chunk in one try. And speaking of chunk, we're talking about the 5th chunk of the Boy with No Brain Tour. After my little trip home to Seekonk, Massachusetts, shout out, go Warriors, bleed blue. I head on out to Pittsburgh. I only have 4 cities left, and then I can rest. I sent a bunch of koozies home to Seekonk, Massachusetts before I left for the tour, just so I could re-up and reload. And so I had at this point a lot of koozies, because I also had my next door neighbor have to send me some emergency koozies. So I have my emergency koozies and this second batch, so I have 2 spare batches. I got a couple hundred koozies in my Vizzy bag. And if you haven't tried Vizzy, it's a lot better than White Claw and a lot better than Truly. And I love them so much, and I made a video for them, and they sent me a bag and a hoodie. So we like Vizzy, and they gave me this bag that I use, and I hold my koozies in it. I hold my koozies in my what would you call this type of a bag? A tote. That's the word. Anyway, so I got a lot of koozies in my tote bag. Head to Pittsburgh. Landed Pittsburgh. I had forgotten that when I selected a rental car, I had chosen minivan, because it was just way cheaper. You ever rent a car and sometimes it'll be like a big ass pickup truck will be a lot cheaper? I don't know why they do that. I guess because they're hard to drive and there's not a lot of places to sit. I don't know. So I think big old pickup trucks are really cheap and minivans are really cheap. So I just got a minivan. I don't want to be driving a big old pickup truck. I'm scared. Driving a big old pickup truck in a part of this country I don't really know too well. Streets I'm not familiar with. No. Give me all the safety features of a Chrysler Voyager. So that's what I was given. Jet black Chrysler Voyager. And I didn't even tell you guys. My last chunk of the tour, for a week and a half, I had selected just economy. Cheapest car they got. They hooked me up with a bright blue Dodge Charger. You can see it on my Instagram. I put it on my pictures under the last episode post. Check that out. Really sick. And to go from that to a jet black, and it was pretty sick. I can't lie. It was a very sick. I also I posted it also on my Instagram. I'll post it again. Don't worry. I really need people to see this jet black Chrysler Odyssey, and it's so roomy. Hard to parallel park. Really made a fool of myself a couple times parallel parking this beast, but oh so smooth, and the armrests. Oh heavens, and the safety features. Don't even get me started. So I'm hauling ass around Pittsburgh in my Chrysler Odyssey Voyager. I keep calling it an Odyssey. Chrysler Voyager. I don't mean to put no disrespect on the Chrysler Voyager's name. It's a Chrysler Voyager and a Honda Odyssey. Anywho, I'm tearing ass around Pittsburgh, just picking up mad chicks. You know how it goes. And lo and behold, I'm doing a show at a barbershop in Pittsburgh. It's called Bryant Street Barbershop. This is a show I got on my own. Reached out to some... Honestly, I reached out to a band that I know in Pittsburgh that had me open for them last year, the Bastard Bearded Irishmen. Check them out. They tour... Go see them on tour. Buy their albums and stuff. They are so sick. It's like a kind of a Celtic rock band, I suppose. And they're called the Bastard Bearded Irishmen. I opened for them last year in a big music venue in Pittsburgh called the Thunderbird or something. And it was very sick. And the whole band went out and introduced me because they were like, hey, this is a music show, but we really like this guy. Everyone be polite and laugh at him. And some people even did. And that was a good time. So I reached out to one of the guys in the band and said, hey man, I'm trying to go through Pittsburgh. I'm going to be in Columbus. If you know anyone or put a show together. He goes, I know some comics out here. I'll reach out. And he ended up hooking me up with a comic out there. He goes, I got a show at a barbershop. Let's do this show. I said, hell yeah. So I go to the barbershop. So the day of, I look at Eventbrite barbershop, sold out. Sold out, bitch. Big ass Pittsburgh ass market, sold out. No problem. Fuck you, Matt Rife. I'm selling shit out too. I ain't scared of you. And I go to Bryant Street Barbershop, and it's sold out because the capacity is 20. But hey, they all showed up. God bless these 20 people. And I still got to post on Instagram. Hey, if you wanted to come to the show tonight, sorry. Sorry, stupid bitch. Sorry, sold out. But it was only 20 people. But what a fun 20 people. 2 of the Bastard Bearded Irishmen came. With their wives and shit. 2 people came that... I have these big fans in Vegas who came to a Vegas show I did months ago. They sent their friends to live in Pittsburgh. These 2 people came. They didn't even know who I was. They came out. Had an okay time, I think. Sat right up front and had an okay time. Some other fans. Nice little group of 20. Went out after. Good old time. Me and the boys, the Bastard Bearded Irishmen. Good to see them. But I was happy with it. The next day, I go to freaking Columbus, Ohio. I don't know what the hell happened in Columbus, Ohio. This show was crazy. So I'm coming off of, if you listen to this podcast and been following the Boy with No Brain tour, all the other 4 chunks, you know, every once in a while I get a decent-sized crowd, but usually it's not. I have a multiple single-digit numbers crowds, and that's okay. They can still be fun. But that's kind of what I've been getting used to and preparing for, or I should say not preparing for, because I'm like, whatever. I'll keep it chill. There's going to be 20, 30 people there, max. I go to Columbus, Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio, and I guess most of my fans live in Columbus, Ohio. Because I walk into this comedy club, beautiful comedy club, Christmas tree on stage, huge place, 2 levels, mezzanine. 206 people came to see me in Columbus. I guess because it's kind of a college town. Man, I don't know. Maybe I have kind of a younger fan base in such a big college town. Man, I don't know. I didn't think that Columbus would be any bigger or better than any of the other shows on this tour. And it just blew every other show out of the water. 206 people, and it was a straight door deal. So I made fucking bank on this show. Great crowd. Laughing the whole time. Opened with a joke about Columbo, the TV character, did not get a laugh. And they forgave me. They forgave me for a joke that I thought was pretty foolproof. And they didn't like it. But they liked most of the other jokes. And then after the show, I go sling some koozies, and I got a lot of koozies, as I told you. I only sold, who knows, 6 or 8 in Pittsburgh. Max. There was only 20 people at that show. I go to Columbus. I finished my set. Oh, I did great. And then I go out in the front to sell my merch and take some pictures. There's a line around, down like the hallway. People are lining up to meet me. I felt like a celebrity. I felt like I was like a famous person. I don't know if people are all mixed up in Columbus or what. But these people just came out in droves, and they waited in line and got pictures and signed. I signed some koozies. One guy bought 20 koozies. Thanks to that guy that bought 20 koozies, it did end up stressing me out because I sold so many koozies. I sold $670, I think it was, worth of koozies. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? That's about 67 koozies. One guy bought 20 koozies. Because, I talk about how I have a lot of koozies. And he yelled from the crowd. He's like, I want 500. And I was like, okay. And he was like, no, I'm serious. And I was like, no, I can't. I don't have that many. Maybe if you had laughed at the Columbo joke, I would give you 500 koozies. Then he comes in the line after. He comes in the line. He really liked the show. He was coming in the line. He goes, let me get 20 koozies. I give him 20 fucking koozies. He goes, sign 10 of them. I signed 10 koozies. He's just, they're stocking stuffers. That's what's great about selling these koozies right before Christmas times. Great stocking stuff for a yummy little ass koozie. This guy bought 20 koozies. And you know who else came to this show? My friend Ryan. So they've been doing these Ryan raves. I don't know if you see on Instagram. Haven't seen any other name doing it. I mean, I assume I'm getting these ads pushed to me and stuff because my name's Ryan, but I think a lot of people are seeing I don't know if people with other names are getting parties pushed to them with their names, but I'm seeing a lot of this Ryan rave stuff. There's an Instagram called Ryan Meetup, and they've been doing big Ryan parties, mostly in New York, but they just did their first one in LA a couple months ago, and I met a lot. It's just, a Ryan rave is just a bunch of Ryan. You have to be named Ryan, and you can we always have a big party. And then it's like an anti-Brian party too, It's the trash cans say Brian on them. All the urinals say Ryan. There's probably 10 to 15 girl Ryans at the party. I got a diamond put on my tooth, and I still, can you hear this? You can hear that. I popped it off, but I still have the glue. It's been 3 months. Probably going to have just a chunk of glue on one of my teeth for perhaps the rest of my life. But I felt bad. There was a girl there that was giving teeth diamonds, and no one wants a tooth diamond at this random Ryan party. I said, let me get a tooth diamond, $50, put a diamond on my tooth. And the next morning, it was bothering me so much just trying to eat cereal that I just fucking took my thumb and I just popped it off. But now I got glue. Anyway, I meet one guy. People come from all over to the Ryan rave. There's people from the Philippines, no joke, Alaska, Maine. I meet a guy. He says he's from Columbus. I go, dude, I do stand-up. I'm going to be in Columbus in December. He goes, no way, I'll be there. We become Instagram friends, whatever, buys a ticket. He comes out, brings his sister. So good to see him. So good to see him. Shout out my buddy Ryan. And I'll never forget his name, I'll tell you that. And you know what else happened? 2 more people gave me gifts. So if you've been following along, I received my first gift. I received a Fabergé egg from Caitlin. What up, Caitlin? In Illinois. Not until Columbus did I receive another gift. One guy gave me a shirt. It's a black shirt, and it's the shape of Ohio, and it says Soul. Isn't that pretty tight? So I'm just going to wear my Soul, Ohio shirt. It's from a cool shop in Ohio. Thanks to the man that gave me that. A soul. Ohio soul shirt. Ohio's known for their soul. Soul food. When I think soul food, Akron. And then there was another woman who came and gave all the comics homemade liqueur. Raspberry liqueur. which I just used on Christmas. I made a Christmas punch for my Christmas party. And I don't know if you could really taste the raspberry liqueur. I just used a big old bowl and put a bunch of shit in it. But I said, here's a good a time as any to use this raspberry liqueur. So thank you, ma'am. I think it was delicious. I was drunk as all hell drinking this punch. And I can't imagine that the raspberry liqueur didn't have almost everything to do with that, ma'am. Thank you, sweetie honey. Columbus went ham. Went out with, and after all those people, only 2 people wanted to hang out with me after. 2 fans came out, went to a bar, brewery, awesome couple, hung out. Me, them 2, the host of the show. Feature comic went to go get laid. So the 4 of us went and hung out. After all those people, you would think it'd be a big, a big to-do. Sometimes it's a whole bunch of people want to come. Lord knows, Pittsburgh, 20 people came to the show, 10 of them hung out after. So who knows? Who knows what people like to do? But it was a nice time. And then I go to Louisville. Louisville. Never been to Kentucky. My first time in Kentucky ever. Knock that off the list. There are now 2 states left that I've never been to. And one of them I'm going to in February. Going to Idaho. And then the last one is Alaska. So hopefully I'll bang that out in the coming years. By the way, quick pause. I recently put out some 2024 tour dates. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or whatever social media you may have seen. Come see me on the road. And if you know a venue, have a venue, know anyone who runs a show that would want to have me on, headline, hit me up, DM me, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'm going all over. Also, I must correct I keep doing this. One of my cities on the tour dates that I posted was wrong. I put Sun Valley, California. That's wrong. I'm going to be in Grass Valley, California. Different valley. Sun Valley is just in like North Hollywood. I think it's just like a shitty neighborhood of the valley. So I'm not going to be there. I'll be in Grass Valley, which is cool. That's kind of more NorCal, I think. More like mountains, I think. I looked at some pictures. It looks pretty sick. Anyway, I got some Cali shows coming. Got some East Coast shows coming. A little maybe, Virginia. Ooh, maybe even a little bit of Virginia. Maybe even back to Ohio. Definitely back to Ohio. Cincinnati, to be honest. All sorts of shit. And then some South. Some Dallas and some Austin and Tulsa and all sorts of stuff. And, of course, a shit ton of Wisconsin. Big Wisconsin guy. Anyway, back to the story. So my first time in Kentucky, and my favorite singer, Tyler Childers, is from Kentucky. And for some reason, I really like this song. I mean, not for some reason, but I really like this song of his called Woodward Creek. And it stuck out to me as a song or as a place that I've always just wanted to see. I just love the song, and I thought it just seems like such a peaceful place. I don't know. He sings a lot about Kentucky and West Virginia and stuff, and never had a ton of desire to go and see. But for some reason, that song, I'm like, I kind of want to go to Woodward Creek and just fucking live like he lived, writing that song. I imagine it's so peaceful. And so from Columbus to Louisville is down southwest. I kind of have to go the wrong way. I had to add an extra 2.5 hours to my trip to go to Woodward Creek in Estill County, Kentucky. My Lady of the Estill Springs. So I just put Woodward Creek on the map. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere in Estill County. And you leave the highway and you're driving through backcountry Kentucky for a while. And it does get a little scary. It's you're driving through dilapidated shacks and there's just dogs in the road. And it's a 1-lane road, windy road, up and down hills, up and down mountains. We've got time before I leave these mountains. And those were the mountains. For one more night on the banks of Woodward Creek. I get to Woodward Creek. There's multiple dogs that I have to drive past. They haven't seen a car pass in probably years. And there's just I dip down into a kind of a valley, a slope, come down the valley, and there it is, Woodward Creek. It's just a creek. It's a creek. It's exactly what you would think. I put it on Instagram with my black minivan. Check out my Instagram. Pictures of Woodward Creek. Very sick. So I thought it'd be like, yeah, I'll park my car. Fucking just enjoy the Kentucky air. Tyler makes it sound so peaceful and awesome and just a good place to reflect and meditate even. And I get out of my car, walk over to the creek, and 2 dogs start charging down the hill, barking so loud. I guess they're barking like as how a regular dog would bark, but we're in this it's in like a little valley, a little enclave, hills on each side, so it's echoing like crazy. And these dogs, and it's all these shacks with all beat up trucks with bullet holes in them, and there's no one, not a soul around. But these 2 dogs come running down the hill, and I go, oh my God, I'm going to get attacked by these dogs. Or someone's going to hear the dogs and come out with a gun and shoot me. It was a young dog and an old dog. They were big dogs. The younger one was leading the charge of the barking, really aggressive barking. The old one was just kind of like hanging out and throwing out the occasional bark. And I'm just standing at the creek like, oh my God. Should I run back to my car? I don't know what to do. But I kind of want to show them that it's okay. I'm kind of just like putting my hand out like, no, come here, buddy, you're okay. And they're just barking. They get to the creek, which is just a creek. It's about 1.5 feet across. And they get to the creek and they're barking and barking and barking. And I'm on the other side of the creek just looking and trying to calm them down. And they never did come like across the creek. I was like, if these dogs step into the creek and try to cross the creek, I might go run back to my minivan. Because Lord knows it has all the great safety features. Then it might be like a full Cujo situation at fucking Woodward Creek. But they barked for a while, and I was shaking. My hands were shaking. All those pictures I posted on Instagram of me at Woodward Creek were the least blurry pictures that I could find, because my hands were shaking so bad taking those pictures. But I took those pictures, the dogs eventually just left. They left me alone. I showed them I wasn't afraid of them, those motherfuckers. And they got the hell out of there. I'm not afraid of those dogs, and I'm not afraid of Matt Rife. Those dogs were barking like I didn't sell out Bryant Street Barbershop 2 days prior. But I kind of enjoyed it for a bit. Just sat in the wind. But I was like, I gotta hit the road. I gotta get to my hotel and go jack off. And for the next half an hour of this drive, my hands were just shaking. I was so shaken up by this. I thought I was gonna get mauled by dogs. Then I get to Louisville. Louisville, interesting place. I liked it. A lot of people that I met who are from there were like, it sucks. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. It's on the river. The club is like right downtown. It's in like a big kind of Vegas-y stretch of like 2 or 3 blocks called 4th Street Live, and it's a big entertainment area that's like a dead zone now. No one goes to 4th Street Live. People that came to the show goes, I came for this show. I haven't been to 4th Street in 15 years. It's like kind of lame now, but it's like got all your shit. It's got a fudgery. A big fudge place. And, TGI Fridays, a Guy Fieri's steakhouse. It's like, games and shops and lights and a big-ass Christmas tree. Kind of like a promenade. Entertainment area, a bunch of bars and stuff that I would later go to. And the club is kind of, it's upstairs. When you have to leave the promenade and walk up these stairs, it's kind of in a tough spot. I walk in, they have a big green horse in the lobby. Not a real horse. It's what I would call like a plastic horse, or maybe even like a marble horse. It's not a marble, it's a plastic horse. And but it's bright green, and all the comics sign it. And the first signature I see, I swear to God, it says Joey Avery, who's one of my buds, and he's one of my favorite comics, and he's so good and doing way better than me. He's not as strong as me. There's no way he's as strong as me. But he's definitely more successful. But it says Joey Avery, parentheses, got 8 at the Late Show. So Joey Avery, for all his success, only got 8 people to come out to the Late Show. I said, that is foreboding. That's not good. Because I'm not doing as well as Joey Avery. Lord knows. Probably because I'm not as good. But one show Friday, and then an early show and a late show Saturday. First show Friday, sick. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. So big fans. Went out with a couple. Also, a group of boys came to the Friday show, like 8 boys, big fans. They came to my album recording in Indianapolis, even, a couple years ago. 8 boys. Take a picture with the boys, signing koozies for the boys. 8 boys. They go, we're going to go to, I was mentioning I always go to a bar after. I like going to a bar, hanging out with the comics or the fans or whoever wants to hang out. And I'm very, I do that like every single night. And these guys were like, are you really going to come? We're going to hold you to it. You don't lie to us. You're going to come? And I was like, I'll be there. I was like, okay. 2 other fans. I say, hey, I'm going to go meet these boys. You want to come? Yeah, they come with me. We go to the bar. These boys weren't even at the bar. One of them hit me up on Instagram and was like, thanks for the show. I was like, where were you fucking boys? He goes, we didn't want to bother you. You didn't want to bother me? I told you I was going to the bar, dude. Anyway, bummed out that these boys didn't come. But I had a great time with this couple that came out with me. And we went to this bar. The name of this bar was Howl at the Moon. And we went to this bar called Howl at the Moon. And they were giving, it was a blast, live band, and they had Jello shots in these big plastic syringes. And you can just buy like a big old syringe, and then you can squirt it into your mouth, Jello shot. So sick. Such a better way to do a Jello shot than how you usually have to fucking stick your tongue in it, scoop it out, slurp your tongue around the rim. Nah, put it in a syringe. You never thought of that? You never thought of that? So it was a great time with those 2 people. The next day I went to the Louisville Slugger Museum, and it shows you how Louisville sluggers are made. It was fine. Then the next, so the Saturday night, early show, great, a lot of fun. Late show, the dreaded late show that I knew Joey Avery only had 8 people at. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? I had 9 people. That's right. 9 people trumped Joey Avery's sorry ass. And they weren't a big laughing crowd. I didn't do any jokes. I didn't do any jokes till I got the light, and I was like, okay, I'll do some jokes. Then I tried like my favorite joke, my dog fucking joke, and they groaned. I was like, all right, fuck you people. But they were polite enough. There's this table of 2 girls that was one was Venezuelan and one was Vietnamese. They met because the Vietnamese girl did the Venezuelan girl's nails. And they were just sitting right up front. I mean, it's no fun for these people, and it's no fun for me when there's 9 people at a show. It's like, man, this just really sucks for everybody. The people feel like they're being held hostage. It's obviously not fun for the comics. Sometimes, I mean, because it's such a big room, it's just awkward, and they get seated in the front row. And front row, Scooby-Doo. But also, like, I did a show for 9 people in Omaha, and that was like pretty fun. It just depends on the environment, I guess. These people, I didn't think it was particularly fun. I'm grateful that they came. And then these 2 hillbillies just walk in halfway through my set. They sit down, and I'm just fucking around. I'm doing exclusively crowd work, and I'm not much good at crowd work. So I'm just killing time. I don't want to do jokes because there's 9 people and they're not going to laugh and it's going to be awkward. So I am killing time and I'm mostly apologizing. These 2 hillbillies come in. They just sit down. And I was like, what's up, boys? Finally, some 2 new people I can, harass. And I asked them, I was like, sorry, did you guys pay full price to get in here? Because the show is like almost over. And they were like, yeah, to pay to get in here? And I was like, yeah. So they just kind of walked in for free and enjoyed the last 20 minutes of my set. One guy at some point said something about the Vietnamese. He goes, I think I'm trying to get out of here with that Vietnamese girl. And I was like, okay, let's wrap this show up. And we sure did wrap the show up. Some people from the early show said they were going to a bar called PBR. So I went there after the late show, and they were not there. And it was just pretty awful. I was just by myself at this bar, and I paid $15 to get in. That's how much I want to hang out with my fans. So don't feel like I don't want to hang out with you. Don't think I'm lying to you. I'll go out. I party. I went out, they weren't there. Sat next to some guy. He was in like a Santa hat. His name was Trenton. And Trenton was nice to me. Trenton sat and he was with this fucking ugly ass girl that was being so mean to me. And I wouldn't call her ugly ass if she wasn't so mean to me. She was being very rude, and she didn't like me talking to her man, Trenton. I'm like, lady, I'm here by my fucking self. Your boyfriend is just being nice to me. And I bought him a shot. I was like, thanks. My friends didn't. I was supposed to meet people here. They didn't show up. I'm by myself. So we just talked for like 15 minutes. He was cool. Tried to set me up with his other yucky friend. And he goes, dude, I told that girl that you're into her. I was like, what? I look, and she is just, yikes. I go, you threw me under the bus, dude. He goes, no, man, I threw you onto the bus. I was like, yeah, well. She looks like she got hit by a goddamn bus. But anyway, didn't do anything about that girl. She was nice, though. I talked to her briefly. And that was it for Louisville. And then it was on to my final show of the tour. Man, oh man, 27 cities. 30-something shows. And finally, it was the 27th city, Evansville, Indiana. Got to Evansville real early. Crossed a time zone. Evansville is in a weird little patch of Indiana that's like, doesn't do the same time zone as the rest of the state. Kind of odd. I had heard that Evansville was a shithole. And the place where the show was great. It was this little strip of streets that was all Christmased out and really nice, and shops and bookstores and restaurants. And the rest of the city that I saw, yeah, it was pretty bad. I'll admit it was pretty bad. But they hooked me up, sick Airbnb, was able to walk, got some dinner with the people that put the show together. Nice guys, very nice guys. The show was at a bookstore. First ever show, I think, in a bookstore. It was something else, man. It was a weirdly run situation. There was a sketch group, they were awesome. Two of the people from the sketch group wanted to just jump up and do sets, so that was fun, but took a while. Two other comics. By the time I went up, show was going on for 2 hours. But the crowd just fucking stuck with me. They had fun. They had their fun. And I had at this point, so I was like pretty low on koozies. I only had maybe 7 or 8 koozies left. So at my hotel in Louisville, I drew I was like, I don't know what to sell for merch if I run out of koozies. So I drew a bunch of pictures of animals. I Googled easy to draw animals. And so I drew some pictures on some paper that luckily I had gotten a notepad from a printing place in Pittsburgh, because I also had some more tour posters printed out. Yeah, I sure did. I ran out of tour posters because I was giving them away. That's what happens when things are free. People fucking take them. So I had to print out more. And also they were like, do you want a notepad? Or some other shit, a sticker? And I was like, I'll take a notepad. So luckily I took this notepad because now I had paper to draw all these animals. So I drew like 10 animals. And they were just like extra in case I ran out of koozies. But I made it to Evansville and I had like 8 koozies left and 10 animals and got rid of I just gave the animals away. I felt bad charging people for the animals. But I got rid of all my koozies, got rid of all my tour posters, and all my animals on the last show. And I had been keeping them in this box, this little box. And I got to, at the end of the show, just throw the box out that I've been carrying around for 3 months. Felt so good, getting rid of that little box. No more posters. The koozies are gone for now. Well, I have a bunch left in my apartment, but not have these koozies in my fucking suitcase. Oh, it felt so good. It's like getting a big shit out or like a big booger out. Just the space is so satisfying and you just feel so relaxed, you know? Yeah, Evansville was tight. Went out after with like the sketch group and some of the other comics. Just had a blast. Had a great time. Love this sketch group. They're called Good Friends. Check them out. They gave me a t-shirt and some stickers. And I really like this. Oh my God, I'm wearing it right now. Oh shit. This is not even a joke. I'm wearing the Good Friends t-shirt right now. It's one of my new favorite shirts. It's nice and pink. And it fits me real good. I look kind of jacked in it. I wore it to Ralph's today. Well, shout out Good Friends. They did great. And so then the next day, so what I've been doing, I've done this a couple times now, when I just return my rental car all the way back to the place I started. And you'll save like $400 or $500 when you do that. The one-way fee is ridiculous. So if I just have a day off, I just drive all the way back. And I did that. I drove all the way back from Evansville all the way back to Pittsburgh to return my minivan, which was like I guess like 9. It was supposed to be like 8 hours, but it turned into like 10 and a half hours because I was driving through a damn snowstorm. And it got dark real quick. It was a pretty scary drive. And I took a little video. Of course, as I'm risking my life even driving in this thing, I had to also take a video. So I'll put that on my Instagram. That'll be one of the slides. But crazy day of driving. Low visibility. Then when it gets dark. But it was also like, once the snow chilled out, and there was like a little bit of snow on the ground, but it wasn't coming through and blocking my vision. And then I was just driving through. It wasn't like a highway. It took me like a lot of kind of backways, single lane roads. Then everyone was this was like December 18th. So it was a lot of just decked out for Christmas little towns I was passing through. It was, aside from the scary part of the snow, it was a pleasant ass drive. Got to Pittsburgh, flew back home. And that, folks, was the Boy with No Brain tour. Chunk 5. Hope you enjoyed the trials and tribulations of this tour. And I hope you come see me on my 2024 run of shows. I don't know what I'm going to call that. Probably break that into some chunks. Make it like a 2-tour kind of situation. Who knows? I don't know. But I got koozies. I got about 1,000, maybe 800 to 1,000 koozies left. I'll be slinging them. And then I need some new merch. Lord knows. My merch girl appears to have passed away. Maybe she got shot in the face or the top or the back of the head or the chest or the stomach. I don't know. But she hasn't gotten back to me in quite some time. So I'll think of if anyone has any merch ideas, maybe some elk shit, huh? Maybe I'll sell like a little elk figurines or some shit and sign those. By the way, if you're on my Instagram, no matter what I post, just post at the end, made it to the elk. And I'll know that you listen to my podcast. And I'll give it a like. And that's worth a lot. A like from Ryan O'Flanagan of Seekonk, Massachusetts. Bleed Blue. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. And Happy New Year. Hopefully some more episodes to come of Laser Show. And I'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.